no retreat. Sirens dead, the grid is down. Ashes falling on this town. They thought we'd fold, they thought we'd run, but we've been ready since day one. We saw it coming miles away, while they just laughed and walked away. Now it's time to draw the line. This is ours, this fight is mine. Preppers will survive through the fire. We stay alive, stand our ground, we won't divide.
Yeah, I think I might have to do what Eric said, is make the intro as long as the song.
Man,
Hello, everybody.
I'm fixing to type in chat and it says, if you're new to streaming all day. Really?
Well, you said you had to resub, so
Yeah.
it thinks you're new. Hello, everybody. I haven't even checked and see if my numbers went. Wait, my numbers are always going down, but yeah, I lost four subscribers today.
Oh. Mary, Harvest Mary, you still in the chat? If you are, hello. Hello to B, Grace, Mary, and all of y'all up in here.
Yeah.
Grace, you telling me?
Come on, say hi.
And Miss Dixie says hello also
To everyone.
to everyone.
I was on my way because I had to go buy a battery charger because my old one decided it didn't want to do work anymore. So they've got a new area where they've been working. It's the back way to Walmart, and headed to Walmart and come around the bend, and there's a big line. There's, sheriff out there, and 18-wheeler went off the side of the road and got stuck halfway, blocking both lanes, basically. So they had a tow truck already there, and as I'm pulling up, there's people turning around because they don't want to wait. And you would be surprised how I made it all the way up to the second person in line when I started way in the back, and people didn't want to wait, and you could hear them cussing and screaming and hollering. And the thing is, by the time he got done pulling him out, it wasn't but 3 minutes. And the people who have to turn around and go back the other way, because where Coshocton is, there's to get to the main road is 2 bridges, and the one bridge that road is on, and the other one at the entrance to the city. So they had to go all the way back and all the way to the town, and then all the way and drive around just to bypass that. And by the time we got through, all these people were sitting at the light, and I still passed them all. It was funny though.
Did you wave at them?
How people don't have patience to, just chill. I could see, like, if you're like late for work or something, you got 5 minutes to be there or something, but majority of the time, no. Most people have all the time that they need to get somewhere, or they just wait till the last minute, and no wonder you're late. Whenever I was working at Roll King, I always showed up a half an hour early. I was there a half an hour early, even though I didn't check in at that time unless I was needed. I always showed up early. I was never late, never called off or anything like that. Of course, I wasn't there that long, but and
Well,
while I was there, you should have started the people who were late every day and they were, calling off, they were sick or they were out too late the night before. And
have you noticed the people that lived the farthest away are the ones there earlier?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you are on time, you're late.
Hey, Robert.
So now, normally when I worked at a place,
I start early.
yeah, at least 30
I
minutes
get to
early,
work early.
so you can figure out what you got to do and so forth like that. Because if you go in, you're a little bit late, then to me, everything's a rush from there on out.
Yep.
Well, the other guys, when I come in to relieve them, love that I came in half an hour early at first I was checking it. I was clocking in at that early when I got there and I was going straight to work,
Yeah.
They loved it because they didn't have to rush and they could get out on time. And I was told you're not allowed to clock in that early. You can clock in up to 15 minutes. And I said, okay. So I still came in at the same time. I just waited for that 15 minutes and then I clocked in.
Yeah.
Which, why do you want to start so early and all this stuff? And I was on the books for 40 hours. I was always on overtime at that last day because I clock in early and I'm always the last one to clock out, oddly enough. Not on purpose, just because I was always busy doing something. They would say, hey, will you do a fast security check, which meant, going through the store, making sure there's nobody at the ends of the aisles and going into the bathrooms and checking all the stalls, that kind of thing. And then I said, yeah, sure, that's no problem. And then I'd give them okay and I'd go back and check out or clock out.
What's up, Lester?
Hey, Vester. Oh, but,
Yeah, I done erased 2 of them, Grace, already. Commercials.
oh, yeah. Well, that's how the creators get paid, though.
Yeah, but at least they should give a creator a part of it. And I ain't
Yeah.
talking about no 3 or 4 cents either.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree with you there. But anyway, I figured what I would talk about today, and it kind of was inspired by the thumbnail because I told AI to make me and Jeff into Vikings. Oddly enough, going into battle with Jeff here, holding his shield like this. That's one thing, but at least they gave him glasses so Jeff wouldn't accidentally come after me instead of the bad guy. Jeff's the only Viking I've ever seen wearing glasses.
You
And-
need to
and
take
you-
another picture of me without my glasses on.
And they didn't give Jeff his hat like me, which
Yeah,
technically isn't authentic to Vikings. They didn't go around with horn helms and stuff. That's a movie thing.
yeah, but knowing AI, I'd have one horn up and the other horn down.
But like I said, it kind of give me that, because I didn't expect it to put the evil wolf in the background, which I know what it stands for. In I'll call it lore, because it does predict the end of the world. The wolf.
Robert,
And there are other things, and I would follow the Bible's rendition of the end of days or end of the world type thing. And I'm nowhere saying that I'm predicting anything, because there's only one person that knows the time, and it's nobody on earth.
I don't think his son knows. There ain't but one person that knows.
Well, there is no person who knows.
You know what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
without getting technical in it.
Yeah. And is it 4 or 8? Oh man, I forgot. It's in Matthew. Only God knows the time and day.
Yeah. Robert, they didn't give me no helmet at all.
Unicorn.
The shield that Bushcraft is talking about, I'm not holding it up. I'm protecting the family jewels down there. That ain't gonna do me no good.
But anyways, what I'm going to go over is something that I've been stewing around in my head a little bit, and I've actually went and did a Bible study on Revelation, and had a very good teacher, and learned quite a bit. I was always told never read Revelation, and I thought it was Revelations. That's the first mistake I had. But I was told never to read Revelation until you read the rest of the whole Bible, which is kind of silly, because the whole Bible is parts of the Bible within the Bible is Revelations, because it has so much into Daniel and Matthew and so many other books has the same thing before Revelation was a thing. But what we're going to talk about today is 13, Revelation 13. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go straight to I heard a bling. What is the bling?
Robert.
Oh, thank you for the jewels, the 550 jewels. I appreciate it. And yep, I'm drinking pop as I go. Now there's a lot in here that we could talk about, starting from the beginning and all that, but I kind of want to jump toward a certain part of this, and I can't read chat or anything. So if somebody pops up and says something, holler for me, Jeff.
Of course.
I'm going to go ahead
for you or at you.
Huh?
Holler for you or at you.
Either or.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go straight to 11 and 40 joules. Thank you. Let's see here. And I don't know I didn't even look at see what this is. This is an NIV version. It's just easier for me, it's easier to read. So it says, then I saw a second beast. And again, we're not talking about the first beast either. Coming out of the earth. It had two horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. Now, I'm not going to get too far into it, but again, what does this sound like to you? When they're already describing a lamb, we know the most important lamb there is.
Yeah.
And then there's a dragon. A lot of people say the dragon is a snake. Snake has a certain tongue. So to me, it's already saying, it's somebody that looks like the lamb, but has an evil tongue, so to speak. It exercised all authority of the first beast on its behalf, and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. And they do add that in there. And again, fatal wound. So those people out there screaming and hollering that Trump is the beast and everything because he got the little wound.
Nope.
That is a wound. It is not a fatal wound. Okay, moving on. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from the heavens to the earth in full view of the people. And we're on 14 now. It says, because of the signs, it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast. It deceived the inhabitants of earth. It ordered, well, I lost it already. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast, who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. Okay, now this is kind of where I'm going with this. I'll go back to chat so I can. This is where I'm kind of going at this here, and the part it's deceiving the people to create an image in honor of the first beast. Now that got me thinking, about the days and times we're in right now. Now, there's many ways to look at this. Let me go ahead and go to 15 because 15's the big bang, so to speak. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed.
Mhm.
Now, there's probably, if I had Josh up here, he probably has it all down and everything, what certain words mean in Hebrew and all the languages and stuff. I've been dabbling with the other languages and stuff, but it takes a lot of time to look that stuff up, and an actual book. And now, first of all, we heard this. Let me flip it back over here and gave power to this image, and it gave it breath. So now the image could mean multiple different things. And I've always said that I have a thought that, that second coming thing is going to be, AI in whatever form. Now, I've heard other people talk about this, and there are other versions of this, that this idol of a statue is being created, and the second beast gives it power. Usually when you give a statue power, it turns it into, if you had a stone image of a man or a beast or whatever, and you thought if you plugged it in,
I know, we're on vacation.
it would be a robot, so to speak, because it's not flesh and blood. It had been, stone or whatever it's made out of. So, to my thinking would be, you give it power, it becomes a robot. And what do you put in a robot that gives it life, that lets it breathe, so to speak? You give it a brain. And what nowadays is all over the place, the images used in this video or this live came from AI. So who's to say, that this thing is not being or won't be created out of, stone or metal or whatever, and then it's given life with AI. And then, what other source would be out there that would be able to know who had a mark and who didn't have a mark? Especially today, if we were out here and, you would want to know, like, who in Ohio had a rare car that got a speeding ticket in 1989 or something like that. Well, AI would boom and figure out, oh, Jeff got it.
Yeah,
And
I did.
AI is all over the place. So what better, robot, or, you could go a scale 10 times that and say a fleet of robots with the same AI to go out and find people who don't have that fancy mark.
Well,
And
like
again,
a robot.
the mark, there's no mistaking it. You're either going to take the mark or you will die. No other way around it. You know, you can believe and have full faith in God and then still take the mark, and you're still, which is even worse than dying the other way.
Well, now, the way I
Because
take it,
you condemn your soul when
Yeah.
you take that mark.
there is no going back once you take that mark. And the way I understand it, you will know you're taking the mark because
Oh,
they're going to tell you.
There's no mistaking, because you can't say, "Oh, you know, I thought it was just to get rid of the
Flu.
the scary bug that's going around. I just got it in my arm. I didn't think it was anything else." No, you're gonna know exactly what it is.
Mhm.
There's not gonna be no, it was a mistake.
I- There's so many things I can think of. Okay. Now, to me, it could be like driver's license, in your right hand, you're going to be holding it, or on your forehead, which is going to be your brain, you're going to memorize something. Or is it going to be tattooed on you, or you going to know
It doesn't matter. You know, if you deny
it?
it, you won't have to know.
If
You
you
just know that,
deny it, you won't leave that room, period.
yeah.
You don't
Well,
get
the
but
thing
one
is,
shot at it.
I don't know if, to me, I don't know if it's, like you see in the where they try to scare the crap out of you thing, where they have everybody lined up in a line
Yeah.
and they have piles sitting over here and they have people walking off into the sunset thing over there. Is it going to be like that? Everybody in the world lining up at one place. I really don't think it's going to be like that. There's going to be no mistaking it.
If it's
Uh,
going to be a lineup, it'll be in that community. I'll put it like that.
well, see, then again, is it going to be, are there going to be people going around looking for people that don't have the mark? Whatever it could be. I don't know.
Well, that's where your neighbor's going to turn against you, because if they don't see the mark, then they're going to turn you in.
Oh, yeah.
So that I just answered my own question right there. Like I said, there's no mistaking it. There's no going back. You're gonna know it's the mark. If you don't take it, you die. But there is a certain way that the Bible says that you die. And I can't say it on here, but you take it, then you go to the hot place.
Yep. You're,
And there is a passage also in that Bible. A lot of people who think that is going to heaven won't go.
there's a lot of people who think
Yeah, exactly.
it's because, oh, I believe, and I gave my heart to Jesus, and I believe he died on the cross for me, and this and that, and I go to church, and all this stuff. And I'm going, I'm going to heaven. And comes time, and it's like, who are you? You're not going.
This whole week, I've been thinking about this. But so okay, we'd be talking about it. But there is one thing that has started sticking out in my mind. I don't know. Okay, I'll put it like that. I don't know. But if you truly believe in Jesus, then you're supposed to read the Bible every day. Okay? I'm sorry. I truly believe, I believe in Jesus, but I don't read the Bible like I'm supposed to. And the way it entered my mind is that read the Bible every day if you truly believe.
Yeah, but just because you read a book doesn't guarantee you're going.
That's true.
You have to have
if you are a true believer, if you do believe in Christ, then you're supposed to read the Bible every day. That's the way I take it. You done been saved, done been baptized, and it does say in the Bible, a person that gets saved has to be baptized. Don't.
I guarantee you're wrong. There's a guy on. There's a guy on.
Passages down. I could bring them to you, but I didn't write them down. I'll have to go back and ask the preacher.
Well, to say that you have to be baptized is false, because it is in the Bible. There was a guy on a cross, and next to the guy on the cross never got baptized, never read the book, never done any of that stuff, and he went to heaven.
Who was it?
Allegedly.
Matter of fact, I think Josh brought it up a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I cannot remember.
Because we can say we know everything because of a Bible.
No, we don't.
We're not the ones that tell people they can go to heaven. We have no right to that. Only one person has. I just said it. One person. Only God has the right to tell who goes and who doesn't, and He knows. And like I said, that I even asked about it. I'm like, wait a minute. If it says, and there is a difference between the Old Testament and New Testament and stuff. There's the old laws, that stuff. That if you don't get baptized, you can't go to heaven. I'm like, wait a minute.
I didn't say it like that.
Well, see, that's the thing is, and that's what happened to, and the only way to heaven is through God, that's it, you know. And um, Jesus died for us on the sin because we were all cursed. We're still cursed, but
Wait, wait a minute. Grace, one of the commandments is do not judge. But you are right on that also. Okay.
yeah,
And I didn't know that until about a year ago, a couple of years ago. Had to go back and reread the 10.
yeah, and that whole the thou shalt not kill. It's again, it's how everything's interpreted, and it's how everybody interprets the Bible. If you interpret it to where it suits you, your interpretation's already wrong.
Exactly.
And that's where, you know, all these, to me, all the commandments and these rules and everything are a guideline. It's not set in stone because there is no person on earth that can follow everything to 100% true, you know, because how many times a day, now, can you honestly say if you go right now and walk through Walmart, you can honestly not judge a person in Walmart?
I don't think a person can, to be truthful about it.
Especially in Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. That was the best one you could have used right there.
But I think it's just a guideline. And, you know, I'm not saying anything bad about religion or, you know, whatever different denominations or whatever they call them, how many different versions there is. The one thing that trumps all that stuff is faith, you know, and it can't be faked. You know, you can lay on the ground and scream and holler and all that stuff. It ain't going to do a bit of good. God's going to know your heart.
Exactly.
Boom, boom. But
Exactly.
what I was going to get here, because the verse does mention image, and then it can speak. You know, many modern interpretations connect that with, you know, AI or an AI avatar, which is a big thing now. Human robots, giant interactive statues, which they still, you know, some places do have these, where you go in and you ask it questions and it tells you, you know, go up 3 floors and go down this hallway or something like that. And here's another one, holograms. That is an image, you know, and to give that image, you give it power, you know, that kind of thing. And believe it or not, I was totally thrown off by this and I didn't catch it right away. I was actually came across this video. Well, it was a short 3-minute thing. And I was actually watching it for a good, you know, at least a minute. And it dawned on me this is AI. And it was a AI generated preacher talking about the Bible.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this can't be good. I mean, you know, I kind of like the concept, but then again, no, that's just weird. You know, I don't want a computer to teach me the Bible. And then I stop and think about it. You know, when you Google, you have a question about a Bible verse or something, you Google it. Oh, that don't seem right. Then when you start to think about it, because that's the same thing you do when, you know, I know this Bible verse from somewhere. Where is that? And you Google it. Well, you just asked a AI preacher to teach you a Bible verse. Stop and think about that. Now, I'm not trying to get on anybody that, you know, uses Google to search for something, because I do it, but I'm sitting there thinking about it now. It's like, oh, but I'm not very good with the Bible and everything. So, you know, I'm getting to where it's like, dang, I need to phone a friend, which I have one of those, but it makes you, it seems dirty. You know what I mean? That's like, Jeff, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but
It ain't the first time.
if Jeff was to call a random lady friend and ask her, you know, secretive things, I'm not going to get too much into it, with his wife sitting next to him.
Yeah.
That's not going to go over too good. Now, you sit there and think of that in a bigger scheme, you know. Say I'm sitting here, you know, I want to learn more about Matthew and stuff, and I'm digging into the verse, whatever verse, and God's sitting right here watching this. I would feel so bad, you know, if he seen me asking a computer about the Bible, you know.
See, now, in my opinion, that's why a person needs to go to church, because what one person don't know, maybe another person will. You know, a church is the place a person goes to learn more. That's what I think.
Supposedly,
Yeah,
if it's a good preacher.
yeah.
But you kind of get the gist of where I'm going with that. It's, you know, imagine, and I'm not saying it's bad, because I don't know if it's bad, but it just seems, to me it just seems bad, you know. You know, it's a cool tool to use and everything like that, but would you use it in that? Now, there is an advertisement about a certain AI, and
Right.
I believe it's already been taken down. And this priest types in, I need a sermon for Sunday's church. It prints it all out, you know, gives the whole speech and spiel and the whole thing. And he even has it on the tablet, and he goes up there, and it doesn't say what it was about or anything, but that was the advertisement, saying that, you know, even priests are using AI for that purpose. And I'm like, oh man. Oh, you know, in that case, could just imagine Jesus sitting on the first pew, and you had to look at him in the eye with that tablet on. It could be every word for word, come from the Bible. The fact that
at that point,
you know,
I think AI, once you start, AI is going to start telling you the truth. Okay, what you ask.
oh yeah,
But more
law in.
and he's going to vary. He's going to get off the subject, and it's going to be a lie.
Well, it also says that there is a, and I'm going to kind of, there is another religion that there is out there, and I'm not saying any religion because I don't want to get people mad or anything like that, but there is another religion that is the religion that will turn people from Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying what it is or anything, what my belief it is, but
Grace, the way I was taught, and it was by a Bible preaching man, is you take your Bible to church with you and you read along with that preacher. If he starts varying from the word, then you get up and walk out because it's not a true preacher. And a preacher told me that.
this goes for me too because I'm big on this. I'm guilty of this. I'll put it this way. And this is how it just big light bulb blew up in my head. This guy goes up to the pastor and he says, "I'm afraid this is my last day here. I can't do it anymore." And the pastor says, "Can I ask why?" And he says, "Well, I look around, you have Henrietta over there with her high skirts and her fancy makeup, and you have the kids over there running around and carrying on during church and no respect for other people. And you have Hank over here, you can still smell the alcohol on his breath." And he says, I just can't do it anymore. Church has gotten so bad that, I just can't do it anymore. And he says, "Okay, but can you do one thing for me before you leave?" And he says, "Sure, I can do that." And he grabs one of his wine glasses and he fills it up to the brim with water. And he says, "I want you to walk all the way around the church." And he says, "But you cannot spill that water. Whatever you do, don't spill that water. Go all the way around that church and come back and bring it to me." And the guy, "Why? What are you?" And he says, "No, you just got to do it." and he says, "Okay." And he's walking very slowly. He's got his hands out like this and carrying that goblet thing and walking around, and he's making sure he go down the steps just right. And he's going extremely slow. He's making sure that he doesn't spill anything. And he's going, and it must have been oh, 20 minutes. And his wife is in there talking to the pastor at the same time. And here he comes. He's coming back in, and he's making all the way to the pastor. And he says, "Here, I did it." And he said, "Look at it. I didn't spill a drop." And he's kind of excited that he didn't spill anything. And he said, "While you were out there, let me know. Did you see these ladies that always do the gossiping and stuff out there?" And he said, "Do you see them kids running around?" He said, "No." And I said, "Well, what about the lady with the short skirt and whatnot?" And he said, "No, I didn't. I was too focused on not spilling a drop." And he says, "Exactly." And he says, "You come to church to focus on God, not everybody else." And you know what? Boom.
Exactly.
that just blew my head right there. The top of my head just popped off, and I was like, because because every time you go to church, you hear these people, "Oh, look at her, she's got she's a single mother and she does this," and it's like, oh, why do I have to hear these people? You're supposed to be in here, being neighborly and everything. It's a church. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, And I was guilty of the same thing,
I was too.
We're supposed to be there to focus on God, nothing else.
Right.
And that's what it is. That's what church is. It's a place where you can go and only focus on Him. The other stuff that happens there is just,
Immature.
it's life. And when you brought that up with the church thing, I was like, I got to tell you this.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. We have all done it. Plain
Yeah.
simple. We've judged people. We've talked about people. About the only thing, well, there's quite a few things I can say I've not done. I've not killed nobody. I've not, there's quite a few things in there, but I guarantee you, I've judged and I've talked,
Yeah. And
and
it's not kill. It's actually murder of the innocent.
right.
That's the Hebrew version of what everybody else thinks of the Bible, of the killing thing. Thou shalt not kill. It's not that.
Thou shalt not murder.
Right.
The murdering of the innocent is the Hebrew word or the meaning of the Hebrew word.
Okay. I mean, that makes more sense than what I've heard in the past, but I'm not
because
worded like that.
Yeah, because people accidentally kill people a lot.
Yeah.
Driving, other things.
Yeah.
It tons of things, and I'm not saying get drunk and get behind the wheel, and it's, to me, that's murder. But
yeah, agree.
Now, because you could say that, well, every soldier is going to go to hell because
No,
they broke a commandment.
no, the way I heard it is like this right here. When you pull the trigger to kill somebody like that, which is a situation, either kill or be killed, it's in your heart whether you killed that guy or you murdered that guy. You know.
Yeah, and yeah, deep down, because sometimes, you know, in situations, what is what they call the blood rage.
Yeah.
That's a Viking thing, but you know, it wasn't that they didn't feel bad for the person or anything. That was them trying to live another day, because it wasn't just one person that they had to go against. It was probably many, and that empowers them to keep going. Now,
Well,
that doesn't mean when they go home or 10 years down the road, they start to feel that guilt and the hurt in them from what they did back then. Like, again, God knows your heart. It doesn't. We can talk about it all day, and it's just like forgiveness. We can't ask for forgiveness.
That's like trust. It has to be earned. So, and once you break your trust, it's hard to get it back. But eventually it can be gotten back. It's just like being saved. I don't know if I ought to use that term or not. Once you stray, you can go back and you can ask for forgiveness, but it depends on what your heart is really like when you ask for that forgiveness. Are you being serious, or are you just throwing words out there?
But I said it doesn't make any difference what me, you say, or Josh, or the Pope, or he forgives people and he does this, and there's only one
They can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I got to excuse myself a minute. I got to take a shot.
Okay.
And there ain't no forgiveness on that if I miss that shot. It should be all over me.
Yeah, and what Jeff was talking about, the mark and everything. I came across used Google. What were the top things that was supposed to be used as the mark? The mark of the beast. Oddly enough, barcodes was one of them. Credit cards. Now, I don't know if that would be considered something. And I don't know why television is in this. I mean, I don't know if. Oh, that'd be interesting. That thought just came in my head. Imagine watching television and asking people to take the mark. Ooh, dang. Oh, that is a thing to think about, though. It would have to be, there's no mistaking. You're taking a mark. The other one is RFID chips. You know, people are already putting them in their arms and stuff and whatnot. They make these cute little things that you can slide under your skin and whatnot. Another one is the internet. And that could be just the same thing as like the television thing. You know, if you want your computer to continue to work or whatnot, you have to take the mark. You know, supercomputers, which to me that would be AI. Hey Gary, how's it going? Good to see you. But sit there and think about the television thing. That was a movie in '84. What was the movie, Grace? Oh, hey Gary, did anybody tell you that you work a lot? Man, the movie was 1984. Okay, it must be a different movie than I thought. 1984 was a movie about the husband murdered his wife or something thing. They programmed them on big screen TV. Oh, interesting. Huh. I just looked on here for they give me images and everything. Oh, they actually have the robots already. Well, I've already seen those. Are you serious? This is a thing already? Oh man. Actually turned out to be a playbook. Well, you guys remember Paul Harvey, right? have you have you uh have you actually thought and went back and listened to that one? That thing will blow your mind. This was in '65 when he did this, you know. Um, and I played it. I did play it once, and that is the rest of the story, you know. I played it once, and I got in trouble. I got copyrighted. I ended up getting a strike. So unfortunately, I can't play that on here. I'd love to because he, he described our time to the letter almost. You know, some of the strange things.
I'm back.
I wonder if I can get the actual. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, Grace. That's because they kept stepping in them holes. in New York.
Oh, yeah, I can. I can. Now, again, I'm going to nitpick through this. And it was, if I were the devil,
Oh, what was his name?
Paul Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
And he done that. He done that how many years ago?
in 65.
Hmm.
Now, actually, I don't think that is the actual one. So we're not going to do that one. Anyways, I'm just, April 3rd, 1965. I guess this is full. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. Take over the United States. Divide the churches,
Which is being done right now.
yeah, that's been
Yeah.
happening. Starts as a whisper, yeah. Where does that go back to? When Jesus was the 40-day thing he did.
Fast.
40 days and 40 nights.
Well,
Yeah.
there's quite a few 40 days
Oh,
in
it
there.
is.
Yeah.
And that's where he's I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve. Do as I please. Yeah, I wish I could just read this because I know I'd get in trouble if I just read it. So I'm nitpicking through some of the stuff as I read. Yeah, and I'd make sure that to take God out of the government, out of the school, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And that kind of reminds me, I watched this video. You ever see where I can't remember the show, where they would go in and put hidden cameras in a restaurant, and then they'd set people up and see who got up and did something, type of
Yeah.
thing. I can't remember the name of the show, but
What would you do?
I don't remember if that's what.
No, that was the name of it. What would you do?
Oh, anyways, they did something like this on a kind of a religious type of thing, and
What would Jesus
the
say?
guy goes in and sits down and starts praying, and then they have somebody else, had multiple groups of people that do this with, and they would look at the reactions of the people sitting around him, and then they would have, another certain religion go down, and they would sit on the floor and point a certain direction and do that number, and seeing if they got a rise out of people and stuff. They did nothing happened, people would look and get glances and dirty looks and stuff. And somebody came in and did the kind of the same thing. They sat down and asked somebody if they would pray with them, you know, and no, you know, they'd move on. And they did this for like 5 different people and nothing happened. And then the next person come in. And the thing that I was more shocked about the whole thing is that, and I don't know where it took place because it was, you know, a short, or, you know, but the fact that so many people turn their nose at people when they bowed their head and started praying, and they made it obvious, you know, because, you know, most people don't go in there and do this and sit at the table and start praying out loud and stuff, but they wanted to make it more noticeable. And the I don't know, the disdain on people's faces when they see somebody praying in public was, you know, that's the thing that shocked me. You know, I've seen people praying in a restaurant before, and I never thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
To sit there and, you know, ooh, you know, make a face at somebody because they're praying. Even if you don't believe in something, the fact that, ew, you know.
Well, now, I've been in restaurants, and being Dixie has been in restaurants. We've seen a whole family sit there and hold hands around the table and pray. I mean, it's not where it disrupts everybody, but you know they pray.
That's the thing is that when the tables were connected, you know, two people were sitting there, and they were getting ready to say a prayer, and they grabbed a stranger's hand next to them and grabbed this person's hand, and they started praying. And you know, the fact that some people pull back, you know, like it was an evil thing.
Well, you know, I have commended people for doing that in public.
Yeah,
you know,
I have a bet now. When my wife was around, that was a you did it.
yeah.
There was no, I don't feel like it or anything. It was and I miss that, you know, even though and again, she was Catholic, and I don't have nothing against Catholics or anything. You can believe what you want. And I still raise my kids, you know, as that. I never went to the classes to become Catholic. I went to the church with my wife, all that stuff. I just, you know, it wasn't for me. It just seemed weird. And again, I'm not dissing people for this or anything. I don't feel comfortable worshiping somebody that isn't God. And I'm not doing this in a bad way or anything, because I know Peter is one of my favorite disciples, but I don't see me praying to him. I'm sorry. I'm not, you know, I don't feel comfortable for me praying to another man. You know, me, I pray to God. That's it.
I'll give you that one. You're right.
And again, I'm not dissing anybody that is Catholic or anything, because that's how they were brought up, and that's how, you know, they have all these saints and things that they pray to and light candle, or is it a candle or it's a candle?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things I thought was very cool, you know, the history and stuff that I learned when my wife was Catholic. When it was time for us to get married, I had to go take class. Me and my wife went to class for 6 months before we could get married.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I woke up and told Dixie to get dressed. We're going somewhere. She said, "Where we going?" I said, "Surprise. We got married." So she couldn't back out.
After we get married, we're going to Bonanza or Ponderosa.
I forgot where we went, but it was early morning. It was on a Friday. The race.
I went back home.
Yeah, got 3 days off from work. He said, "How was your honeymoon?" I looked at him and went to work. But
yeah, see, I'm the same way. I don't have nothing against Catholics or anything. I've been to great community churches, Catholic churches. It's just there's some things in there I just don't. It's not for me. That's not saying it's bad or anything. It's just, you know. I've never been a real religious person. It's just, you know, that thing. And I'm sure, you know, maybe that's where I got that mixed up. Yeah, I won't get into that. That'd be something good for when, dang, that's got me thinking of. Yeah, but the whole praying thing, you know, we did the whole hold hands and all this, and now we make the sign of the cross and everything after the prayer's over. That's the extra thing for Catholic prayers and whatnot.
oh, boys, that's where we went.
Exactly, Gary. Exactly. And I've been to a lot of different churches, and some that the first 5 minutes I want to run like hell. My aunt, I went, and I don't know what church it was. I couldn't tell you now, but we go in there, and the music's just going, and it feels good when you get in there. And then the preacher starts going at it, and then all of a sudden I see this lady down in the front row, and she's and screaming and hollering and doing the tongues thing. And I'm trying to figure out, is this, you know, a normal thing? And then here comes somebody else. And then here comes this other lady, and she's doing this with her hair and screaming and making the noises coming out of her mouth. And I go over to look at my aunt and say, what the heck's going on? And it was her up there. And she pulled her hat off and her hair going off like crazy. And I'm like, oh my. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. and she told me, I'm not saying anything wrong with people who think they can speak a language to God and stuff like that, certain language. But I did do some research in the Bible on this, that to speak tongues, you can only speak it to another.
Person.
There has to be one that can
Interpreter.
hear it and one that can speak it.
Right.
That's it. So screaming and hollering in the middle of the room with full of 50 people, that does no good. Only that one is going to hear it and understand
Now, let me say this. I would prefer to sit in a church with people doing that than I had to sit in a church playing with snakes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Nothing against it, but that's not me.
Oh, that's cool.
I missed that.
Yeah. Tell you the story today. I seen American something other, a new place open up. So we drove around the block, came back and parked. And I'm like, looking up at the sign. I'm like, no, really? And I thought, well, let's go in. And it was American occultist. Yes. And I actually went in, and I know before people keep tell me, oh, you shouldn't go in, you can get this and that, and you can become evil and all this. Anyways, I went in, looked around. The first thing when you open the door is a big statue of Satan doing things to other people and whatnot. And there's little bundles of herbs, and then there's certain rocks for summoning things. Of course, I know a lot of this stuff that's in this, but anyways, we're looking around and I'm being nice, and we hear the guy in the background talking, and he says, yeah, we've already had issues with people coming in and this and that. They said people don't know that, Satanism is a religion and this and that. And, he's raising his voice a little bit and that, and making it so everybody in the store can hear him. And I'm continue looking around, and we're working our way around to head back out the door, and notice there's summoning bowls, with the knives and everything. There's sacrificial things. I'm not going to go into too much details, but we make it and the crystals, and there's herbs and there's the jewelry and all that other stuff, and we make it out the door, and like I was like, it is what I thought it was. But there'll be people, oh, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't go in those places because you can be turned very easily and stuff. And I said, no, I have faith that God's going to protect me. I can walk through and nothing's going to touch me because he's protecting me, plain and simple. Now, if you have fear in your heart when you walk into something like that, that's what gets you taken, so to speak. You will be taken to that other side easily, because that fear doesn't come from God. It comes from the guy that in that room. I was like, in this town, that is the place that you set up a place like that in this town. And then, yeah, it makes sense, you know, and they had quite a few people in there.
YouTube police, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I just get because they had a sign in the front, and I was because usually when you see something like this, you don't see it. You see the star, but the star is flipped upside down. The star was right side up, so I thought, well, maybe it's not what I thought it was. But when I looked at the sign, it said herbs and other things. You know, I'm like, oh, herbs. You know, maybe I can find some good, you know, a good place to get herbs. You know, maybe it's an herbal type place. And as soon as you walk in, you can smell it. There's a certain herb that it's supposed to. It's not sage, so don't go there. There's a certain herb that is burned during a summoning and trying to turn people, so to speak. And as soon as I walked in, I smelt that. And again, I know that stuff because I was into that stuff way back when.
Days.
Yeah, but I smelt that, and I was like, interesting. And it's not a normal thing that you smell. Yeah, I don't know if people are going to, how it's going to be. You know, I could always go to Facebook and see what people are complaining about. But that's why I left Facebook, because it's nothing but complaining about this person or that thing or that whatever, you know. And the first thing you see, usually the first thing I see whenever I I open Facebook is, you MAGA people. And that's the end of looking at that and scroll, you know. That's the cherry on the top to flip through the page, you know. Yep. Because you already know it's a negative thing. Whenever it starts MAGA this, MAGA that, you know, what does that stand for?
Make America great again.
Okay. What would be the opposite of that?
Make America bad.
Well, there. And I tried to explain something. I quote, is that bad? You know, make America great again. Yes, it is. And why? You know, because it's racist. It's this, it's that. And I said, well, making something great again is racist. Yeah, you know. And I said, so you want the opposite of that, right? Yeah. Well, I said, well, make America bad again.
But
you know, you get that. And I don't say myself as a MAGA person or anything, because first of all, I hate labels. Putting a label on a group or something, that's
really, Grace. Yeah.
Grace, you sharing your skinny dipping pictures again on Facebook? Yeah, I go. It's horrible, and the thing is, it's worse when you have family members and then they ask you who you voted for. Well, what difference does that make? You know.
See, that's the only reason.
It makes a difference, and I said, well, I voted for Trump because, you know, who wants another 4 years of what we had to go through?
True.
And then you have been removed.
See, that's the only reason I am on Facebook, so I can find out what my family members are doing. They don't talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it does. It puts you in a very bad mood, you know. Just even if you don't look at the family member stuff and just scroll through at other stories and stuff, it's like, what are you thinking? You know, and it's meant for that. You know, you'll see something that almost pisses you off enough to go and see if everybody else is pissed off as much as you are, and you go to the comments just to look. Boom, they got you. And then you see everybody else is pissed off, and they're like, oh, I got to tell people I'm pissed off too, you know. And that's how it goes.
YouTube police 100% agree with that comment.
Yeah. It's not because everybody sees color, but it isn't. I rather judge a person by how they treat me and how they treat others.
I had a guy tell me that I was racist, and I asked why. He said, because you hate me. I said, I don't hate you because you are a certain color. I hate you for what you've done, and I really don't hate you. I hate you for the act that you did. He turned around and walked off. He couldn't argue with that.
That usually pisses them off more.
Uh-huh.
You know,
because they want to be right. They want to be louder. They want to incriminate you to where you feel about an inch. Dude, I'll get in an argument match with you on that. You know, I love to argue. Well, I used to love to argue. But
like I said, I was big in well, not a big person. I was big in wanting to fight when I was younger.
Yeah,
I would go and let people take the first, second, and third hit on me just to get me fired up, and I hate that person. Oh man, and and I don't want to talk about too much of this, but everybody knows with my 21 thing. Well, somebody that was with my daughter for a good while, he did things to her. We'll just leave it at that. And we had to go up and get the kids. My daughter was with me and everything. And we followed two sheriff cruisers up with me, and they were going to arrest him. And I was planning things out. I was planning things out on the way. You know, I was sizing up the two sheriff's deputies to see how I could get around them so I could do something. And by the time we pulled up there, I already had in mind what I was going to do to this person. It didn't, I was fine, you know, going to jail and whatnot. But by the time I got up there, what do I see? The license plate that I'm following to go to my daughter's house. 21. And I got there and watched him being handcuffed. Didn't do a damn thing. And that is not like me. I went in when my dad was killed by a drunk driver, so to speak. He wasn't drinking, he was on other stuff, but they consider it drunk driving. And he ended up getting 6 months. And he turned around and smiled at me. Like, ha, smiled. I went through at least 12 different deputies, and I still got to him. Didn't get as many licks in there as I would want, but
you let him know.
I was fuming. And I was fine until then. And I didn't get arrested or anything. I didn't assault any police or anything like that. It was just straight to them and, you know, pushing people off and this and that. But it was meant for one. And the judge said, if I'm good to go home with your kids, you know, go home.
Then it sounds like to me that judge, if he was in your predicament, he'd probably done the same thing.
Well, no, it was a female.
Well, you don't
But her hands were tied. She even said, you took somebody's life over a chemical that you put in yourself. And said you should be going away for a long, long time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said, that I usually don't get fired up like that. Because I don't like that person. I really don't.
Last time I got fired up like that, I had a migraine for a week. I hate it.
Oh, I don't. I shouldn't say I don't get headaches because I just had one this weekend because I was sick. The flu. And again, I don't. If I feel something coming on like the flu, I force the fever, and I don't take anything because I want my body to do the work it was meant to do. And I probably shouldn't do this anymore because it's getting more dangerous as I'm getting old. I
You too,
basically
boys.
get
Take
the
it easy.
temperature going. Catch you later, Gary. Thanks for hanging out.
Well, now used to, when I catch a cold coming on, I would take Alka-Seltzer Plus and it would knock it out. But if you've got blood pressure problems, don't take it. Ask me how I know.
Yeah, I already knew I was going to get. I was going to get the temperature going up and whatnot, but I wanted to speed it up. And you shouldn't do that. It's just me. I hate being sick. It's a waste of time for me. And the odd thing is, because this was very odd symptoms this time. 'Cause normally, you get temperature and it goes up and you get the aches and pains and all that. And then you sleep for 8 hours or whatever it is and rinse and repeat. Well, there was Thursday night is when it started. I went to sleep normally, probably got 2 hours maybe of sleep. And Friday came along, got through that, didn't go to sleep for Friday, didn't go to sleep Saturday, went to sleep Sunday at around 5 or 6 in the morning for an hour, and then Tuesday and it was gone, and except for the throat issues, I'm still getting my voice back.
Last time I got what you call sick was in 2019, almost 2020, right before everything hit. That was the last time. Now, I've had a sniffle here and there, but what I call getting sick is when I'm bedridden.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call sick.
And I was, when I had to get up to go to the bathroom or whatnot, or get water.
Yeah.
It was a chore. I was very lightheaded, and of course, I didn't eat anything for the first 2 days either. I had chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
And whoop, in one hole out the other.
Wife hates it when I get sick because she wants to get me this and get me that. I look at her and tell her I ain't dead yet. I still got feet. It may take me a little longer. Yeah, I do. I'm not like most guys when they get sick. I really ain't.
I went outside and sat on the swing. I was like, if I could talk, I could do my porch talks.
Well, like you said, the only time I got out of that bed is when I had to go to the restroom, and I was right back in that bed.
Yeah, the COVID thing, it was the beginning of 2020, and it was in February, and my son-in-law got it first because he was working in Cleveland and at Walmart. He was a security person, and he was doing training up there, and he actually brought it back to Coshocton County. Anyways, I got it. I'm not sure if my daughter got it or not, but they said it was walking pneumonia for me, and I had to take the whatever that thing is, where you squirt fumes in your mouth or whatever it is.
Okay.
It's like the asthma people use.
Hey, Lulu.
You got to suck in that and hold it in for a while, and a couple other things, and I was on that for a week, and it wasn't getting any better. And I said, and it actually seemed like it was getting worse. So I stopped taking all of the stuff the doctor told me, and they told me in 2 years you're going to get it again. If you get walking pneumonia, you get it again. I'm like, okay. I never did get it again, so which we found out now that it was COVID. But anyways, as soon as I stopped taking all that stuff and started drinking my teas, better. Now this time I could have went straight in and took my garlic and drank my tea, but I let things happen the way they're supposed to happen. I didn't take anything. I didn't take aspirin for a headache or to get my temperature down, or Tylenol or whatever they call that stuff. Your body is like that. No, I didn't even drink the tea or anything because I want my body's weak right now, and it got weak enough to get sick. So this is a way for my body to get built back up again.
Yeah.
Because too much we go to that medicine cabinet and take this and take that because we don't want to feel sick. But sometimes we're meant to be sick. Being sick is for a purpose. There's a reasoning behind it. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but sometimes your body has to go through that stuff to get stronger.
Some people can't handle it.
Yeah. So, like, there are people with a immune deficit, whatever. I can't even talk. That can't, a little cold can do some damage. That's like, well, I know Jeff's done it. How many times you worked on a car and ate a bologna sandwich without washing your hands?
Well, now I would wipe my hands off, and it will be clean grease. Yeah,
like that. You don't go in there and scrub like you're a doctor getting ready for surgery.
No, you quite a few times.
I think the whole overkilling germs sometimes is very bad for you because your body gets like, so relaxed that something does come by and it smacks the hell out of you. Yeah. It's because you wear the mask, you you hand sanitize your hands and do all that stuff. And, you know,
Well, now, in some cases, to use hand sanitizer is good, you know, but
yeah, I'm not saying you do away with it, but
don't overdo it.
yeah, you know, I think when you get to that stage where you think so much about a germ attacking you that you lose sight of being alive. You know,
Now, my son, I swear up and down, he's a germaphobe because every time I see him, he's washing his hands. I- yeah. A lot of it toward the end of it, Grace, was made
yes,
with alcohol.
yes. Um, Schools is the biggest, you know, um, germ. I wouldn't say germ place, but
Hospital.
if you want to get sick, walk through a school.
No, walk through a hospital.
No, hospitals are.
Supposed to be. But you get in that waiting room in there, you know, and you got people coughing on you and hacking and stuff. You're going to catch something.
Well, now you got to wear a mask when you go into the hospital now. So
Again,
it hasn't stopped, has it?
it has down here.
I mean, emergency room.
Yeah, it has down
Oh,
here.
well, I haven't been in emergency room since I got in the hospital, and they did give me um,
Mask.
COVID when I left.
The
I
last
see.
time I was in an emergency room was in 2012 for myself. Okay, it was in 2012, but I've been there maybe 2 times since then.
But go back to our time.
Mud pies.
You know, I don't remember kids being as sick as they were that they are now.
Do you know why? Because Mama will not let them make mud pies, play in the mud, get dirty, play outside, and stuff like that. That's exactly what's wrong with today's
Well,
young.
it's like B said about the hand sanitizer. In every room you go to, you have to put hand sanitizer on, or when you leave, or what it is. It's because their immune systems are broken down so bad. It's
Yeah.
not just, because they use hand sanitizer and stuff, but that's the main thing. I'm not
Well,
saying that as a kids we never got sick,
no,
but I can honestly say that, I never, well, I did say I was sick and tried to stay home, but that never worked either. Um,
how many times have
uh,
you went to work sick?
oh yeah. But they say that's a bad thing, because you get everybody else sick. But,
Yeah, but if you don't go, you get rode up, sick or not.
yeah,
So, I mean, it is what it is. You do what you got to do. If you call them up and say, look, I can't come in, I'm sick. All right, we'll give you a mark. So, It to me, now I'm talking germs, okay? The dirtiest thing to me is bathroom door. When you got to push it to go out, or you got to pull it to open it up, well, to go out.
Yeah.
Because how many people use the bathroom and do not wash their hands? They go straight for that door.
Well, I usually use my feet to open the door. 90% of the time I look at the sinks, I'll admit I'll skip washing my hands and leave.
Yeah.
Because it's not that, me going to the bathroom is so icky and disgusting. It's the stuff I'm going to pick up along the way out.
Well, that's true. That's true. And when you'll know what I'm talking about, bushcraft, and I'm trying to say it in a polite way. But when you're standing there using the bathroom, how many times have you took your foot and raised the lid?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not good at, opening and close that stall door or whatever with my feet.
Well, my balance is not as good as it used to be. I'm scared if I raise my foot, I'm going to fall.
Oh,
And
that'd be
yeah,
allows me to fall in the bathroom.
and if you really truly want to see how a bathroom looks, walk in there with a black light.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything, but I always thought, the men's restroom was the grossest bathrooms ever.
It depends on the neighborhood.
Women have mastered at destroying a bathroom. I don't know what it is, but the stuff left in there, and yeah.
Now, when I worked
I'll
at a
just leave it
service
at that. Because
when I worked at a service station, when
I've
he
cleaned
told me,
both.
yeah, when he told me to go clean the bathroom in a service station, I hooked the hose pipe up and a gallon of Clorox or bleach.
Yeah, and that's got me wondering about the women using the bathroom. I'm like, people use this?
Yeah.
I would walk into this and go around the outside of the building and use it. Because even at Roll King, I was like, what happened in here?
And what gets me, you pull up to a place, no public restrooms. I say, all right, where's the corner at? Depending on how bad I got to go. Yeah, Grace, we know that, but there's some women who wants other people to know it too.
Yeah, stuck to the wall and other things, and
Yeah.
let's draw on the wall with this thing and see how others like it and stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dixie will back me up on this, and so will a couple of other people. If my stomach starts rumbling or whatever, I will not use a public restroom. I'll wait.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't care how bad
I've,
I'm double
I've drove
loaded.
home many times like that.
I have, yeah.
Get out of my
And
way! Get
pray
out of
to,
my way!
and pray to God you don't have no railroad tracks or bumps to go over. Hey, I will not use a public restroom like that.
I've come to the house and open the doors, and the cats all come up to greet me. And
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? And as soon as I get done and I open the door, they're all sitting there looking at me. What happened? What's going on?
I drove a dump truck for quite a few years. Okay. This,
Oh,
wait a minute.
oh, oh. You stop and think about it.
You know, you're right.
Because they got to put that purse down somewhere. Oh,
But I run up on this woman at one time. She was also a driver. I'm sitting in my truck. She has got a leak coming out from up underneath her truck. I walk up there to her. I said, ma'am, do you know you got a leak? And she looked at me and she told me what she was doing. And I looked down. Her truck was fixed up to where if she had to go, she sat right there and went on the seat. It's slick, but it ain't slick.
you
Well,
mean
yeah.
Morgan is her name? There's a girl on YouTube.
I've heard that name.
Lady. Dang it, I forget. Her name's Morgan, but she's famous for this, turning the driver's seat into a toilet.
Yeah.
She pulls out the thing and then she can go right there as she's driving down the road. It doesn't go,
Right.
out and about. But yeah. And she's famous for this. It's usually Broncos.
Okay.
Is what she. And I used to follow her, but then she took a bad turn, and I tried to talk to her and stuff, and it got the opposite reaction that I was going for, and so I figured it was time for me to
back off.
Yeah. And I actually unsubscribed from her too. So let's see if I get.
Well, now this woman I'm talking about, this was about 20 years ago that she done that. Sitting right there in the rock quarry.
Dang, I can't remember her name or her channel name.
I know I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I probably watched it a time or two.
And she got famous for her shower scene on the side of a. She was dressed and everything, but you know how YouTube is.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
Like,
ain't it the woman who would had a van also?
No, she didn't have a van. It's always a truck. She has a couple dogs.
Yeah.
That travel with her.
Yeah.
Unstable? Is it unstable, Morgan? I don't know.
No.
Oh, unstoppable.
We're just sitting here talking about headaches. Guess what? Hey.
Yeah, that's it.
Unstoppable Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she ended up getting a new, must be her second channel. Because she used to have, it was like 12 million subscribers or something. She's up to 156 subscribers now. So I know that's, so that one video might not be there anymore.
Well, it seems like to me when I was a youngin', every time we'd take a trip in a car, which would be in a station wagon, that station wagon always had a hole in the back floorboard. And I tell Pop, I got to use the bathroom. There's a hole back there in the floorboard. I'd hate to have been in the car riding behind us.
Yeah, no, I hear this all the time. That, you know, men can just pee in a bottle, and I don't know, but that's a wee little small hole. Just saying.
Ladies, let me tell you something. It takes a lot of practice to aim, and 90% of the men still can't get it down pat.
Hey, Warner, you want to say hi? Yeah. Here, show him your big bushy tail. Say hi.
Hey, kitty puss.
Brutus.
Brutus.
Yeah. You getting ornery.
Bushcraft, I'm gonna have to call tonight. I gotta get rid of this.
I was only going to stay on for an hour. Oh.
I think you went over a little bit.
Yeah, because I still got to go out there and work on the car.
What's wrong with your car?
Well, I have to get it going. I'm fixing up for my daughter so she can have something to run around with.
Yeah, I've had some late night mechanic work for myself. I hate that. Y'all do a video on it. How many times have you worked on a car in very cold weather and bust your knuckles?
Oh, yeah. Well, usually if you want to get a cold, crawl under a car when it's under 30 degrees.
Done it.
Oh, you sitting on your back for a couple hours under and this is not no fancy garage. This is on the ground.
Yep. I'm putting a transmission in a car while it's jacked up. When you're young, it's fun, but as you get older, you learn. Hey, there's mechanics out there that do this.
Well, nowadays you actually have to have those because it's all computers. You know, they hook it up to a computer and turn something on or off now.
Now, I saw something up on YouTube about a week or so ago. It was a guy who put brakes on his truck, but he had to take it to a dealership to get it hooked up to where he could drive it.
Well, who did the brakes, him?
Yeah.
Well, see that's you actually need a thing to plug into the computer so you can reset them.
Yeah.
If not, you know, some won't move and some you can't get out of gear.
Yeah.
I just had to oil changed. And they said, I went away and it said I still needed my oil change. I had the warning thing come up. Warning, change oil. So I took it back and said, you guys need to hook it up and reset that. And he said, we don't do that. And he says, what year is it? And he looked it up and he said, let's go out there. And he says, he turned the key on and he tapped the gas pedal 3 times and turned the key off and turned it back on. And it was fixed.
Oh,
And that's the official way to reset that on that car. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
now you know the idiot lights that come up. About your engine and your oil like that on
Yeah.
the older cars. Man, you'd be surprised how many cars we've had to go through and reprogram them like that. No, I ain't crazy about it. Drive it for about 50 miles. If it don't go off, bring it back. That's just like TMIs, tire pressure thing. Some of them you can reset by driving them around, but that's a whole nother story there.
Yeah. And this is kind of what we were going over earlier. And, this is what we're talking about going to church. Suppose it's Sunday and you're headed to church, and would you stay or would you go?
I'd go. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'd go. I go to church to hear a man preach, not a robot.
Hey, Other Grace, how's it going? But yeah, that's one of the images I seen, and I was like, and it got me, and that's what got me thinking about, the AI thing is, you want to learn a verse, you type it in Google, it pops up, and you're okay with that. But how do you know that 1 or 2 times it may slip in a different word, make the meaning mean something else, and you don't catch it? You think it might be, that. I'm not saying everybody to give up on all this internet stuff, but there's always the book,
Exactly. Go back to old school. Dictionaries, encyclopedias, Bibles, Bushcraft.
Yeah. Stop making me stay on longer, Jeff. Jeez. I just said I was leaving.
Well, you started, you kept on. It was your fault. You started it.
Okay, guys, we will catch you. I don't know when. Honestly, I'm so run now. It's oof. Anyways, we will catch you guys later. Yeah, he's not going to be on until at least next week. At least. Anyways, we'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good night, and we'll catch you on the next one. And until Jeff keeps me talking more.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. YouTube, don't copyright this.